So welcome back. I came across this interesting video that for people out there that don't believe but before I play this, I'd like y'all to hit that like and subscribe button. You know, I'm gonna be doing this reaction video. I was kind of watching some of it. I'm gonna play about maybe 4 or 5 minutes, depending on where it goes. But this is from Old Truth. Yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna try to show you with my mouse here. It's not showing, but it's by Old Truth. Um, I just happened to come across this channel, and this this uh this is pretty interesting. I'm actually gonna hit the thumbs up, but let me know what y'all think, man. But I know God's real, but this follows that don't believe. So let's check this out.
For years, explorers, scholars, and travelers have searched the area around the Dead Sea. Some were looking for answers, others just for adventure. What they found was a strange place. The land around the southern basin of the Dead Sea is not like any other on Earth. It lies over 400 meters below sea level. The air is heavy with minerals. The ground is cracked and silent, like something ancient once happened here, and the Earth never recovered. Mount Sodom stands near the edge of this place. It's not a mountain made of.
And that what they were saying before, because it had like the like and subscribe on their page. But like the Dead Sea, they was talking about the Dead Sea, and that's where um Mount Sodom is, right next to the Dead Sea, which is crazy.
Rock, but of salt, pure salt, rising out of the desert like a monument from another world. For centuries, people passing through noticed the strange shapes in the salt cliffs, pillars, arches, and figures. One formation stood out, a tall, narrow column.
Let's look at it. So this one formation that they're talking about right here. That's what they're saying. That's Lot's wife. Oh, look, y'all gonna laugh at me. Look, I forgot to get my mic. I was so excited. Y'all was so excited. But hit that like and subscribe button. But so right here they're saying that this is Lot's wife, and what I said earlier that right here this is Mount Sodom. I'm pretty sure y'all might have heard that, but that's right next to the Dead Sea. So yeah, let's hit that like and subscribe button. Like I said, I'm let's go.
That looked almost like a woman frozen in place. Locals called it Lot's wife. It became a legend, but no one took it seriously until now. A team of researchers armed with new technology came to study the region.
Oh, so they like, yeah, we gonna make sure. I guess that's for like maybe people that might not have believed that might have been in their camp, or maybe they some that might have believed to show others that don't believe. What y'all think? I don't know. Let's go check it out.
They weren't looking for biblical proof. They were scientists studying the land, the minerals, the structure of the mountain. But what they found changed everything. Using advanced scanning tools, thermal imaging, drone footage, subsurface radar, they noticed something strange on the ridge of Mount Sodom. A vertical shaft, deeper and denser than the surrounding salt. When the drone got closer, what it showed was unbelievable. A salt formation shaped almost perfectly like a human being. Not just a rough figure.
Now when I was watching this, I thought this was the actual salt figure, but really it's AI right here. They haven't really released it, so I just want to let y'all know that this is an AI description, because I was looking at it, and later on in the video, I'll tell you, but I just want to let y'all know this is AI.
But one with proportions that were too perfect to be natural. The shape had arms drawn slightly forward.
This one as well is also AI. Okay.
A head tilted almost as if turning.
This one also is AI.
A body caught in mid-step, as if it had been frozen while moving. The team began a careful.
So this is the one I was telling you about. I know I keep pausing it, but this is the one I was telling you about that had me trip. I was like, why is she so tall? But I see now it's AI, but I'm gonna keep going.
Careful excavation. They worked slowly. The salt was fragile, too much pressure, and the whole thing could collapse. As they brushed away layers of salt and dust, they saw something inside. Dark mineral veins, unusual textures, and then fibers, threads sealed inside the salt. Possibly textile, fabric, clothing. They ran lab tests. What came back stunned everyone. Embedded in the salt was collagen, a protein only found in animal or human tissue. Something had been alive, and not just a long time ago, but around 3,700 years ago, exactly the time that many biblical scholars place the destruction of Sodom.
Hey, see, that was a mic drop right there. Because I was saying, oh, someone could have sculpted. This was embedded inside the salts that they took layers out, and you're seeing or hearing, I should say, that they analyzed this samples that they're taking from the salt, and they found clothing and collagen and fibers in the salts, showing human. Well, they said animal and human, but we all know, like the Bible says, Lot's wife, because that was Mount Sodom, was the city of Sodom and Gomorrah at the Dead Sea, where the great catastrophe had happened. All right, here we go.
News of the discovery leaked. At first, it was just a quiet whisper on archaeology forums, a strange shape in the desert. But then, footage emerged. Grainy video showed the formation, standing tall against the cliff. The figure was clear, the posture unmistakable. And then came the shocker. More close-ups revealed mineralized fabric, and what looked like hard tissue sealed under layers of salt crystal. Social media exploded. News headlines around the world screamed, "They found Lot's wife!" Biblical story confirmed by archaeology. Even scientists who didn't believe in miracles couldn't ignore what they saw. This wasn't like any salt formation they'd seen before.
It's another AI video, by the way.
Too specific. And the location? Right where ancient texts say Sodom once stood. Religious leaders were quick to respond. A prominent rabbi in Jerusalem said, "It's not about proving faith. It's about recognizing that truth sometimes leaves footprints."
No, I'm just kind of just playing this out, but there's still going to be those people that are still not going to believe. And I pray that I'm going to pray that ignorance breaks from your mind. That stronghold of disbelief breaks from your mind, and that you can open your eyes, that your eyes be open, and that the Lord could open your mind and your heart, and you can see His revelation before it is too late.
Even in salt, still there were skeptics. Some said it might just be erosion. Nature can shape salt in strange ways, but even they had to admit, this one was different. The shape, the age, the material inside, it all pointed to something more than coincidence. And there's more. Older maps and travel logs from centuries ago mention a lone figure made of salt on the edge of a destroyed city. Roman writers called the southern end of the Dead Sea a cursed place, full of poisonous air and broken land. Islamic and Jewish traditions also describe the statue of a mourning woman standing in salt. Could they all have been talking about the same thing? As researchers dug deeper, they found more evidence. Balls of sulfur buried in the ground, proof of extreme heat, layers of scorched earth and melted rock. But there was no sign of a volcano.
Look, that's even more evidence. It's even more evidence right there. I know they said they put this in social media, and I'm really not really a big. I try not to be a really big into social media like that, so I might have missed it. But I believe something like this, everybody should be speaking about. Everybody should be speaking about. It's because I mean that's a biblical story, and something like this. Like I said, I might have missed it. But something like this should be something like they should be keep saying, like how they're talking about all this other stuff that's distracting us that everybody knows about now. You know what I'm talking about. I'm trying not to give no name, no credit to what's going on, but this should be something very, very, you know, announced. This should be announced. Like all of us, like I should be able to walk up to someone randomly on the street and they should know about this. This is a biblical fact right now. Look, confirms the Bible again. How many people that don't believe, I want to ask you a question. How do you believe nothing and nothing creates something? Look at a house. Do you believe that there was a vacant lot and then all of a sudden it was built? No, it was the creator. It had to be built. If you're skeptic, and you want to know, well, who created creator, the best thing I could say for y'all to get your answer is to believe in him, trust in him, so when the day comes, you could actually ask that question, and he may reveal it to you, but you'll be in his glory rather than if he wills to answer to you and be in his wrath if he has the time to talk. Like, and that's another thing I want to bring about. I'm seeing these things, all the stuff that's still proving the Bible, but yet I haven't, personally, like I said, I'm not big on social media like that, but I haven't heard anything that's proving any other false doctrines. Like, did any of those other false doctrines prove prophecy? And if they did, where is it? And if it is, and if you think that it proves it, the Bible came out before that and told you to watch out for those certain things, the very same things that happen that people are like valuing. So that still proves the Bible is right. But why aren't you believing? Why do you got to keep seeing more and more facts of the Bible to believe? When you don't even see any facts from the false doctrines and you believe it. Like, you mean to tell me that you could go into your house, go into your room, an empty room, and then all of a sudden life appears in the room, and you're gonna believe that, but you're not gonna believe mom and dad that created a child and she gave birth in the room? You're not gonna believe that. I don't. Like the logic ain't lodging. You know what I'm saying? The logic ain't lodging. I mean, and there's another story that I should have did, but now the Dead Sea. It was prophesied by Ezekiel. Now there's starting to be living creatures in the Dead Sea. The saltiest thing would have sustained not to have life for all these years, maybe 2,000 plus years, 3,000 years, because it was around Sodom and Gomorrah. At least 3,000 years with no life is now starting to have life in it, which was also prophesied. People still don't want to believe it. But anyway, let's go. We're almost done.
No fire pits. Whatever had happened here was sudden, powerful, and impossible to explain naturally. The desert, silent for so long, was finally speaking. What makes this even more haunting is what it represents. Lot's wife didn't commit a crime. She didn't fight anyone. She just looked back. One moment of disobedience. One step too far. And now, thousands of years later, that moment may still be standing in the desert, frozen in time, a warning carved in salt.
The AI
Jesus
video.
himself said, "Remember Lot's wife?" Luke 17:32. Just those 3 words, but they hold so much weight. A call to trust, to move forward without regret, to obey without hesitation. And now the figure standing on Mount Sodom might be more than a story. It might be the very echo of that command. Since the footage leaked, the site has been flooded with attention. Pilgrims want to pray there. Scientists want to study it. Government agencies are debating how to protect it. Some say a dome should be built around it to stop erosion. Others argue that it must be left untouched. But for now, the pillar remains as it was found, standing tall, watching, waiting. Not everyone agrees on what it is, but no one denies that it has shaken the world. Because if this really is Lot's wife, if a human being was sealed in salt at the very place and time the Bible described, then what else might be true? Could other biblical events have left behind their own evidence?
All words of God is true. God is not a liar. And like I said, this video is about old truth, and I just think it's kind of strange because like even he didn't really sound like a believer because he just got done saying that they actually had proof that they did samples and everything in it to prove that that's Lot's wife, and now he's like, if that's Lot's wife. So like even the guy doesn't even sound like it, even though it just came out of his mouth. And I'm hoping he's just saying that just to, you know, say it. But I hope he really believes because that kind of sounds fool. That doesn't kind of sound. That's foolish. That's foolish. Like I'm not gonna sit there and say, "Oh, like, hey, this is the microphone, and yeah, this is this." So we took a piece of the picture, and I spoke in it. But if this is a microphone, you know what I'm saying? Like, come on, man, come on, like for real, like. Right, but yeah, that'll be the ending of this video. I hope y'all enjoyed it. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, notification, ring that bell. If you like more content like this, I will also do more reaction videos like this. All right, one love, one brethren, and I'm out.